some lip gloss. Hey everybody, how we doing today? Happy Wednesday. You know what time it is? I say it every time. It's Women Crush Wednesday. We have Corinne jumping on. She's super rad. Her story's super cool. So hopefully she will jump on soon. She is a business owner of a company called Aura Sugar Company. And it is a boutique that sells some pretty rad stuff. So hopefully she can jump on and talk a little bit about. I'm always so curious when we have these women jump on. Hi, Kevin. When we have these women jump on, how they've navigated the pandemic with their businesses. A lot of women actually have really thrived throughout the pandemic. So that's super interesting to me to find out their story. Let's see. Let's get Corinne on. Do I need to invite her? Let me see. Okay. How are we doing? It's Wednesday. Middle of the week. Didn't get my workout in. Unfortunately. There she is. Corinne!
Hi! One sec.
Hello! How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a mess. I've had a day today. How are you?
You know what? Messy is good. I think I struggle with my need for perfection. And the more I can accept and show my messiness, I think that that's a greater love of self-love, because what is perfect anyways? You know?
It doesn't exist, honey.
It doesn't exist. And you're so fascinating to me. You're so interesting to me. Thank you, first of all, for jumping on in the midst of what's crazy and what's going on. There's so much about you that I want to chat with you about. First, you are the owner of Aura Sugar Company, which is a boutique.
Yes.
You sell some rad.
Asked where Raquel is, and Raquel is here right now, and she hasn't been here in months. So that's so funny. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out. Everybody, Raquel is here.
Who's Raquel?
Oh my God, guys, she doesn't know who Raquel is. Raquel was also very famous from my season on The Bachelor. She is my nanny. But yes, Aura Sugar. Wearing Aura Sugar, it's customizable beads, home accessories, and just fun girly stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then did you always kind of envision this was something you wanted to launch, or did it come to you? How did you come up with the concept of the name, of the idea? Did you always think you were going to be a business owner?
Well, yes. My dad raised me to be very business oriented right from when I was little. But actually, Aura Sugar happened by accident. I was beading just for fun during the pandemic, and I was only charging $4 a bracelet, and I was donating all the money to Feeding America. And then I woke up one morning and I had 300 orders, over 300 orders, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I just kind of turned it into a business. And the name Aura Sugar actually originated because me and my partner, Lindsay Montgomery, who I teamed up with later on, she and I cleanse the beads with sage and Palo Santo. And so they're super good for your aura. And, beads are like candy. So Aura Sugar, it's positive energy for your aura. And they're just they look really pretty and make you feel good. So that's kind of how the name came about.
I love that. I love it. Well, I love how we actually started the chat today, because you are somebody that kind of keeps it 100. Mm-hmm. And you aren't afraid to show who you are. And I think this was part of why it was so important for me to establish this Women Crush Wednesday, because I think women we're taking on so much. We're trying to show up for everybody else, kill it in business, crush it in our personal lives, and then where's the room for us? So let me ask you, what's your relationship with self-care, self-love? How have you navigated it? Did you have any epiphanies during the pandemic? I realized I kind of am a bit of a workaholic. Mm-hmm. I like to be busy, and I think that means I'm very afraid of stillness, which I'm working on.
Well, actually, I'm kind of like in like a space that's different for me right now. I'm doing like self-care and me time by working really hard, which is super weird and different. And like my whole family is like, you got to take a day off. You got to take a day off. Mm-hmm. But like my last relationship took so much out of me by not doing. My last relationship, he really didn't support like me working and me doing my own thing. And there was always when I was trying to start Aura Sugar, and I just felt really like not supported and like let down by that. And so when I broke up with him, I kind of was in this place where I was like, wow, I really let myself down. Like now he broke up with me and left me flat. And now I have nothing to show for myself. Like I gave up my entertainment career. I gave up my whole life. I moved to Arizona for you, and you're just going to go and leave me flat. And now I have nothing. Now I'm just nothing. So I started from scratch and now work really hard. And for me, that makes me happy. And I understand that it might not be like that for everybody, but for me, like I bounced back. Like I was not working. I was not involved in entertainment anymore. And like, I just felt like I let that whole like thing that made me, I let that go. And so now I feel more like myself again. Yeah, there's days where I get really stressed out, and I probably should stay in bed and really just take a day and do nothing. But I like could cry just thinking about where I was 6 months ago when he broke up with me, and where I am now and making my own money again, and just like how I turned my life around now. Like I thank God my dad like drilled business into my head at an early.
That's so inspiring to hear, because what I was hearing from you, and then you nailed it, was your identity. Like, who were you? You know, when you're in a relationship that is so not serving you, it takes up a lot of real estate in your brain. And then you're trying to work so hard to seek approval or validation, maybe not just from your real relationship, but from everybody else. And I love that you turned your job and the work that's like so amazing that it's actual self-care for you, because it had to be, because your identity for so long was nurturing someone else. Now it's time to nurture Corinne. You know?
Yeah. I put someone first that didn't put me first, and I learned a really, really big lesson when that happened. I really did.
How did you learn that lesson? Did you have to get still? Did you have to go, okay, now it's time for me? Because I'm sure in that moment you were feeling very low. You know, it was a relationship, I'm sure, that was important for you. I think the reason why I'm asking is because there's women and men here who feel maybe that they're feeling stuck. You know, they're feeling stuck with where they're at in life. I mean, we all have, right? The pandemic forced me to realize I am a workaholic. I do like to be really busy, and I wasn't nurturing myself. I wasn't serving myself. What was that for you?
I feel like I learned so much during the pandemic, sadly, because I was like almost forced to be in a position where I like couldn't do anything, and like the person I was with didn't support what I wanted to do, and I just felt like I was like brainwashed to be like, no, this is the life. Like a man that doesn't want you to work, and a man that wants you to like do laundry and relax and cook all day. Like, is this the life? This and that. And then like toward the end, I like was so unhappy, but I just felt like that's what I was supposed to be doing. And that I didn't even realize how unhappy I was and how shitty of a life that was. And I wasn't me. Like, so I just feel like it's really important to check in with how you're feeling when you're feeling stuck. It's like, okay, what is bothering me? Like, what will make me happy? And it's like, I had to sit back and do that. Like, I was like, oh my God, like I need to work. Like, that's what's going to make me happy. Like, I need to know that I'm doing what I want to be doing, because I wasn't for so long.
Right, because you were stifled in a way. Like a part of your identity, like what I love too is Aura Sugar is creative, right? I mean, not that you can, I think finding ways to like these pieces are pieces of Corinne. You know, and I love the element of healing, the sage, the really cleansing the beads so you can carry that with you. The thing that I have struggled with in my life is my throat chakra that I'm just starting to realize I've stifled for a very long time, even though I work in the broadcast industry. The broadcaster, Corinne, if I know you're familiar with our industry and hosting is, we must always make the person we're talking to feel very comfortable. And in traditional broadcasts, we do not share our opinion. It's not about us. Like, that's actually like not part of the job.
Yeah.
So I've realized for many years that I love my job because it gives me this, like, I get to connect with people I think are interesting and really rad and have a story to tell. But I also am important. And for many, many years, I realized as a broadcaster, I didn't insert myself anywhere. And by the way, that was a reflection of every level of my life. You know, friendships, relationships, you know, and I think that's what I love so much about what I'm seeing in you is the permission to be unapologetically yourself. If creating a company that provides joy for other people makes you feel good, do the thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, I just feel like, I mean, yeah, you nailed it. I mean, 100%.
So, okay, so now we've created this business. I think what's really interesting about you was you obviously have a very big platform and a lot of people find you inspiring. What is the future that you want with Aura? Like, what has it transformed over time? Is it just, because, you know, it's a boutique. You can find it online. The website is what?
The website is aurasugarco.com or aurasugar.com. You can find it under both. And I really I love what I do so much. Everything is handmade by me personally, my partner, or my sister. We never outsourced anything. We source all of our own products. We make it all in-house by hand. We're doing a lot of really fun collaborations with other small businesses and bigger brands too. I never want it to become something where it becomes something where I'm just phased out and it's running on its own. I want to completely always be involved. I love the creative process. I've always been super into art projects when I was little. My mom went to FIT and was a fashion designer in the Garment Center in New York. So she always had me involved in art classes and like art projects and baking and just all like very like hands-on creative stuff. So that's what's super important to me is that I'm just always super hands-on with it. And I think people appreciate that. And I just want to keep it that way.
Well, and it's cool, you know, I feel like the layered beads, it's very stylish, it's in, it's a nice compliment to what you're wearing. How do you stay on top of the trends? Is that something that's like not that hard for you?
Well, what's funny is that, I mean, like maybe we just are super on trend, or like we started making a lot of this stuff. And then a lot of like the other brands that I've worked with even in the past, jewelry-wise, started making stuff that looked exactly like our stuff. And I started to call people out on it, and then those people started to unfollow me. So I like to think of myself as a trendsetter. And I like to think that I was setting these trends. I know that like a lot of the beads became on trend also, but there were some people that started doing things exactly like we were doing them, brands that I've actually personally worked with before. So I like to think that we set a lot of the trends as well. I know that might seem silly for some people that I'm saying that, but it's true, you think.
I mean, look, it's a coincidence, right? And sometimes companies like to take little pieces of inspiration and make it their own. But that's truly a testament to you. Like, I hope you look in the mirror and you go, a company copying me says more about my vision. I'm on the right path, you know? And you must be very talented at what you do, because if companies are replicating very similar styles, what does that say about Corinne? I've already run out of time really quickly because you are so motivated and you've worked on finding your alignment. A young woman that wants to find her place in the world, I mentor a lot of younger women and actually young men too, to some degree. Mm-hmm. And the one piece of advice that, like, if people are like, I don't know what I want, and by the way, I have no specialty in this, but what's helped me was figuring out what I don't want has helped lead me to finding what I do want. Advice for a young woman who's trying to find her place in the world, whether she wants to launch a business and she's afraid, or get out of something and she's afraid. What is Corinne's advice for someone who, if they were looking to you going like, she's got it figured out, what would you say?
I'm just going to say my parents, like, seriously, kudos to them, because I have changed my mind, moved across country, moved back. I've been unhappy. I've been happy. I've been all over the place my whole life. But one thing I never did was stay in a position, stay in a job, stay in a place, stay in a relationship where I wasn't happy. And it didn't matter what that meant with driving everyone around me crazy. Oops, sorry, moving this. I know. Sorry, my mom walked in. And I've literally never, like, waited or stopped, like, what I, like, wanted to or believe in or how I felt. I always just went for it. And I don't think anyone should stay in a position where they're not super happy and, like, sure about themselves and where they are. Just always follow your heart, basically.
Well, I love that, Corinne. You know, I think what I gravitate towards you is your authenticity, is your transparency. We started off by saying we're messy. And I think when women can own that, it gives other women permission to be like, I can be messy. It's okay. Like, I don't have to have all my crap together.
Correct.
Because what is perfection? But this conversation was perfection to me. I absolutely adore you.
Oh,
please continue to do amazing work. Founder of Aura Sugar Company. We'll post the website and everything.
Oh, awesome.
But
Thank you.
Pardon?
Thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you again for the time, and I will be chatting soon.
Okay, awesome. Have a great day. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.